Thinking about audiobook narration but have no clue where to start? You're in the right place. Audiobook work can be a perfect fit for actors, and for many of them, it becomes a creative, flexible career that can replace the regular day job. In today's video, I sat down with Elise Arsenault, an award-winning narrator whose voice can be heard on dozens of national commercials, video games, and industrials, plus hundreds of audiobooks, including the recent biography, Madonna, A Rebel Life. She'll answer the most common questions new narrators have, like how to get started, what gear you actually need at home, where to find paid narration gigs, tips for protecting your voice with long days in the studio, and what makes an awesome audiobook demo. Let's do this. Thank you so much for being here, Elise. I feel like audiobooks is such an unexplored market for so many actors, and it could really replace a day job or become their new dream job. So I'm really happy to have the go-to expert on the topic here for my community today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. And I agree with you. It totally can be a day job replacer, and it has the power to really shift your acting career in a major way.
Awesome. Well, everyone has to start from somewhere, right? So a big question I'm sure you get a lot is, how do you become an audiobook narrator with no prior experience in the field?
Good question. So becoming an audiobook narrator is very possible, especially if you're coming from an acting background. So if you're listening to this right now and you are an actor, I need to let you know that you have 75 to 80% of the skills that you need to do this work. And those skills are character creation, scene study, if you've taken scene study classes, if you've trained your voice in any way, if you know how to use diaphragm breathing. These are all skills that you need as an audiobook narrator that you probably already have experience with as an actor. So really you have about 15 to 20% of the rest of the skills to learn to get you ready. But I want you to know that you already have so much of what you need. So the things you'll need to work on are translating the craft of acting to that of narration. Like if you're moving from theater to film, there are some adjustments you need to make in your acting. The same is true when you move into audiobook narration. Also, building relationships with folks in this part of the industry and understanding how you fit into the scene. What does your life experience and acting experience already make you a great fit for? And understanding how to communicate that with industry professionals. And then finally, building your home studio. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. But in general, it's okay if you don't have prior experience as an audiobook narrator. You're already bringing so much experience to the table as an actor.
I love that so much. My husband is now an audiobook narrator. You know this.
Yes.
And a little proud wife moment. He has an Earphones Award and 2 Audie nominations now. But it was really you and your husband that helped him in the beginning, especially with the technical side. And sometimes he's lucky and he gets to record with a publisher, but most of the time it is at home in his studio. So can you give my listeners some tips for what equipment is essential for recording audiobooks at home, especially when you're getting started?
Okay, so the equipment that you need is first a quiet space. So I want to say it's okay if you feel like you live in a loud space. We actually help folks all over the world create home environments that will work for recording audiobooks. So if you happen to live in a quieter space, that's going to help you. But in general, creating treatment and creating a space that will be quiet is the first thing. Then depending on the sound in your space, there are different kinds of microphones that will be a good fit for you. One microphone, like microphones, I'm quoting from my husband, Justin, who is my business partner in all of the training that we do around audiobook narration. And Justin always says, microphones are like shoes. The same size doesn't fit everyone. So the same is true for both your voice and your space. So it's important that you don't just go ahead and like find a kit somewhere that someone is selling out there. It's important that you take the time to understand the challenges and benefits of your space, and then understand how to get the right mic for you in your space. And then there are all sorts of things like, you need to connect your microphone to your computer. So of course there will be some cords and wires and things. There may be some preamps. There will be an interface. And then there's going to be recording software that you will use on your computer. It might sound like a lot to get started, but we have helped over 1,000 people get going at all different tech levels, at all different ages too, because sometimes people come to us and they're like, well, I'm such and such an age. I don't know if I can learn tech now. If you are willing, this is something that you can learn how to do.
I feel like it's just like social media. It's never too late to learn, even if you didn't grow up with the technical side and you're looking at the person that can help you with the audiobook technical side. Next question that I hear a lot, and I know you can answer it because we've just mentioned your husband, Justin, and you have the Tree Cave Studios. Do you have any quick tips for creating audiobook demos that really help people pay attention?
Audiobook demos are essential to your work, introducing yourself to the industry, and you'll continue to cultivate and update your demo as you go on, just like you would with headshots. So the way that demos are created for audiobooks is a little bit different than how they were created maybe 10 or 15 years ago. In the past, it was one reel with all different, maybe like 3 different pieces all on one MP3. Today, publishers are looking for a bunch of different tracks. So we do produce demos at the Tree Cave, and what we offer is 3 different tracks. So we help you cultivate 3 solid pieces that will showcase you in the genres that are such a fit for you right now. So we want to figure out your wheelhouse, what you do best. That could be nonfiction business books. It could be romantasy. It could be children's books. So once you take the time to get to know how you fit in the industry, you'll want to clarify that in the creation of your audiobook demo. And you'll want to choose pieces from that are published books that are out there from the past 5 years specifically that will showcase you the best. And we love our demos to be about 90 seconds to 90 seconds to 3 minutes long. That's what we're aiming for, the sweet spot. And then I think the final thing I'll say, I'm giving you lots of juicy tips here, is make sure your sample piece showcases exactly what you're trying to showcase. So if you are trying to showcase romance, make sure there's some romance in there versus just a conversation between 2 best friends.
I love these specific juicy tips. Big question, I think, because, actors usually get their jobs from agents or casting profiles, Actors Access, casting networks. Where can you find audiobook narration jobs? Can you speak to that? And I know money sometimes is a weird conversation, but how much can you expect to earn as an audiobook narrator, especially starting out?
Absolutely. So the great thing about this work is you don't need an agent to do this work. I think that can be one of the most empowering things about it, is that you are reaching out on behalf of yourself. So again, once you know how you fit in, you are the person reaching out, and you're reaching out directly to publishers who have multiple jobs available throughout the year that could be potentially right for you. Before I get off the agent question, I want to say, because you can book this work on your own, you can book a lot of this work. And then if you are looking to maybe connect with a voiceover agent, like who does commercials and video games and things like that, you could use the jobs that you have cultivated as a really awesome portfolio to showcase that you're already competitive in the industry. I got my first voiceover agent after I had already booked 40 audiobooks on my own. They were like, whoa, how did you do that? Obviously, if you can book this work on your own, we're going to be a great team together. So I just want to let you know that it can be really, really empowering when you're getting to this place where so much work is coming to you self-repped. And then in terms of how much money you can make, I actually love talking about this because I became the breadwinner in my family as an audiobook narrator. By the 2nd year of doing this work, I was making mid-5-figure income. So between $40,000 to $60,000 a year, which helped me consistently reach SAG-AFTRA health insurance and pension minimums, which is huge. So if that's something you are looking for, I highly recommend exploring audiobook narration.
It's so hard to get your health insurance through SAG-AFTRA these days, and
yes,
this could be a way, and it could be a way to quit that day job you don't like either, right?
Yes, I want to speak on that, Heidi. I think more than the money, I think not more than, but just as important as the money and the health insurance, because I've been in this place of I've narrated almost 200 audiobooks over the past year. Just being in that state of booking all the time it can't help but affect all the other auditions and all the other work that comes my way. So if you're someone who's been like feeling like desperate when it comes to auditions, I want to encourage you to consider this avenue as work that's readily available. And a lot fewer actors are pursuing this work. That's why there's so much of it available.
I love that. That's so empowering. And I feel like it brings you so much freedom too, especially knowing that you can do this from home.
Yes.
So I love this message for my audience. So thank you so much. A big thing, I mean, I can't even fathom being a narrator. I make tons of video content, I make blogs, everything. But the idea of being in a booth, like for hours, sometimes all day, multiple days, do you have any tips about how someone can maintain their vocal health during a long recording session, or even balancing it out because they may be in the booth and then, you know, recording self-tapes or doing theater? How do they keep their voice healthy?
Vocal health is more important than any other job, I think. I think when you are focused in voiceover work, because an audiobook is the longest form out there, you do need to take deeper care of your voice in a way that you might never have before. When I started, I was working in musical theater as well as narrating. So I would be narrating audiobooks from like 9 to 4 or 9 to 5. And then I would go and do a 3-hour musical at night. So I really had to learn quickly how to take care of myself in a deeper way. So for me, there were some basic things that maybe were not so fun, like not going out to bars and speaking really loud at night in a way that before was okay. So holding back and paying attention to how I'm using my voice in the everyday spaces that I might find myself in. And then, of course, drinking lots of water, staying super hydrated, making sure I get enough sleep. And then in terms of staying focused in the booth, that is another challenge that comes up. So learning what you need. I am an obliger personality type. I don't know if you've ever done like the Gretchen Rubin's 4 personalities. I'm an obliger. So it can sometimes be tricky to have the whole day ahead of me and to have the goal to maybe record 50 pages that day or record 2 finished hours of audio. So figuring out what works for you, maybe having an accountability partner, working with coaches to set up systems that where you're more aware of your energy levels so that you can hit your deadlines and so that you're not waiting to the last minute to complete the big project.
Well, you have been so gracious today with your knowledge, and you have another gift for my audience. It is a free class, Narrate Your Way to Abundance, that's going to help my community explore this world of audiobook narration even more. I put the link in the description below for anyone interested, as well as all of the ways you can get in touch with Elise across social media and online. Thank you so much for being here with me today. You want to sign off with me?
Would love to.
Until next time, we'll see you on social.
You on social.
Bye.